it's C-Billy99. I do the thinking so you don't have to, and with Athos, that may be a good thing. Now, he has made two videos, which I have had a big problem with. It has been disproving the Big Bang, and his video where he's butthurt about being taken down for calling homosexuals the F to the A to the G word. I will not say it because, I don't like spreading hate speech. But it was important that you knew which word. But we got into about a hour-long debate on, back and forth through the comments, where his only defense against homosexuality is zoosexuality. Now, I brought up the very important point that animals can't consent to get married. And he brought up the equally retarded point, well, their body language says they want to have sex. Now, I'm not sure if he was ever a college freshman, but I will tell you, you can't just go by body language. That'll put you in jail. That'll put you in prison. And that'll get you kids you don't want. You're going to have to pay child support for the next 20 years. So, no. Body language means... Okay. Now, what's next? We have the problem of why zoosexuals cannot get married? Because he brings up the body language thing, and while I can argue that into the ground, I understand that some heads are too thick to drill knowledge into. And no problem with. I mean, I understand that quite well. He likens the two together, homosexuality, zoosexuals. Because evidently, two people who love each other and want to get married is the same as fucking your dog. See, I never mentioned sex about this. These are two people who love each other who want to get married. That's it. If you bring sex into the question, that's your hang-up, not mine. But now we've got to go to the Big Bang, which is a lot different. It's a lot harder problem. But let's start at the beginning. No, let's start before the beginning. Once there was, is, and always will be a brain. Well, probably two brains or even more. We don't know how many brains are out there. They're membranes, 5-dimensional or higher objects that exist. We don't even know if they exist in a time that we're currently even aware of. They may exist in a higher time even. But these brains constantly collide into each other, repel, and collide into others. Sort of like having 50 women driving cars in a parking lot. Nah, that was mean. That was mean. Please forgive me, any woman out there. Wait, what am I afraid of? No woman actually listens to me, so... Anyway. When the membranes collide, they separate nothing. I guess is the simplest way to say that. And when they separate nothing, they separate it into positive and negative somethings. This is our universe. Well, actually, no. Our universe is a multi-generational universe. See, these universes were created with all different laws of physics. We had some where magnetism was the strongest, some where the weak force was the strongest, probably even a universe where gravitation was the strongest force. Although, according to string theory, that may not be the case. Gravity may be the one thing holding us all together. But anyway, every law of physics was different. Only universes that could create black holes could have baby universes. For you see, a simple little equation by Einstein has huge problems when you have intense gravity. E equals mc squared. Energy equals mass times the speed of light squared. C is constant, which is the only constant in the universe. Except it isn't. Oh, true, anywhere in our universe we look, we're going to see the speed of light at around 186,000 miles per second. It changes when it travels through substances, but it is still our benchmark. We can't go faster than that if we're traveling through the same substance. Except we can. Black holes pretty much are the cheat code in the universe. The reason light cannot travel any faster, and nothing can travel faster than the speed of light, has to do with the problem of mass. As an object approaches the speed of light, its mass increases exponentially, and time slows down aboard the thing that's traveling near the speed. However, that breaks down when you approach the event horizon where you actually hit the speed of light. Now, some have theorized that you cannot enter a black hole because you would actually permanently stay on the outside ridge. However, there's a problem with that theory as well, because if we were to go with that, then the black hole would not be able to sustain itself. You would never see these supermassive black holes that we have in the center of our universe. Galaxy. Not universe, galaxy, misspoke. So, what happens when something is in a black hole? It can't cease to exist. It can't. The rules of entropy say that nothing can be made or destroyed, but can only change shape. So you can't destroy it. However, if our universe is actually made of nothing, then if something were to enter a black hole, it would have those properties of the universe it came from. So thus, the universe that created it would have the, gravitation, all the forces would be the same. So as that matter approaches the speed of light, it would have to go somewhere. It can't go nowhere. It can't cease to exist. So it has to create its own dimensions inside the black hole. Kind of like if you compress a clay dough into your hands, it'll slip through your fingers. The baby universe that is created inside these black holes creates their own dimensional forces. It creates their own length, width, and depth that is separate from the mother universe's length, width, and depth. It also creates its own time, which, while it can flow at the same direction as mother universe, it can flow backwards, it can flow sideways, where it would never have any influence with the universe above it. So you've got these baby universes forming. These baby universes have the properties of their mother universe with a few slight tweaks. Nothing serious, or else it could, So we are the offspring of a higher universe, where life could arise. Actually, we could be from the very first brain, but I don't think we'd get that lucky the very first shot. So that explains the universe, I hope, and the theory of the Big Bang. But how do we know how far the stars are away? That's always been a big problem. But before we get there, and we will get there, we have another problem about why the universe has stars. Why do we have anything? Well, it has to do with how our universe is born, and why I believe the universe is a baby universe and not an original generation universe. When a baby universe forms, it has to cling to the nearest object. Just like a piece of paper has to cling on something three-dimensional, a three-dimensional object has to cling on something within more dimensions. The brains are around because they created the original universes. However, they are a higher dimension, so that their dimensions will pop out of our dimensions, and when the universe tries to format to it, there are bumps and rivets, sort of like a ditch in a stream, you've got all these bumps, like putting a piece of paper over an orange, you got the pits, if the paper was infinitely thin. So as we continue, these pockets where the universe, that's where the matter collides. This is the dark matter we see all across the universe. While the matter actually exists, it's in these places because the universe is bent in that shape, not because of dark matter, but because the universe is this shape. Okay, now that we have these dark matters, we have these stars that form in the places where the dark matter concentrates the most. Well, actually, we don't have that yet. First, we have supermassive black holes, which form when enough dark matter hits one area. This is usually a very deep fold in space-time, which will create supermassive black holes, which start turning the gases around it, thus creating the first protogalaxies. Stars form from these protogalaxy gases. That is the origin of galaxies. Now, how do we know how far stars are away? It's actually pretty simple. We could have figured this out thousands of years ago, and I'm sure somebody has. But by using trigonometry and something that can measure distances instantaneously, like light, we can transmit the angle of diffraction from a star several 100,000 miles apart. Thus, we can get an accurate measurement of how far away the stars are by using trigonometry and discovering the angles and la-di-da-di-da. I don't understand trigonometry. I'm taking it. I'm trying to learn it. So, guys, this is how stars are formed, how universes are formed, how galaxies are formed. I could go how life is formed, but I've done that enough. So this is E-Billion9. Thank you and good night.